But in essence, maybe to start off with, as a business head, and our view is that although the challenges are real, that tackling climate change is also an unprecedented opportunity for innovation and also to create more equitable progress. And in that area, also Latin America and Mexico have a special place in my heart, because between 1998 and 2003, we lived in Brazil, and I was responsible for professional lighting in Latin America. And I remember well that when we had our goodbye party, we said that we were born Hollandeses and not Latinos, but then leaving Latin America forever, we and also our two sons, we feel like Hollantinos. So and also, Mexico is doing a lot of good work, for which we're also very grateful, in housing and in energy-efficient lighting. So I just wanted to share some examples with you, going through this, then also emphasizing let's say, the benefits, you could say, also beyond efficiency and beyond carbon reductions, which we desperately need, but to show that we need all these events and all these people to actually bring a very simple story across, that solutions that waste less, be it energy, food, materials or water, are also providing a better service, so improving quality of life. What we see happening across the world, and that also links, and I'll explain, to some of the messaging that we have, and there's also going to be a big press release on Monday from our CEO, is that due to population growth, urbanization, rise of the middle class, 500,000 houses are needed per year in Mexico as an example, the number of light points will grow between 2006, which is really when the lighting market started changing faster, when we called for the phase out of incandescent light bulbs, and 2030 by 35%, and until 2050 by 70%. And the same is true for air conditioning, for all kinds of other things. So that means, and that is what we bring in our messaging, that where there is already infrastructure, we need to accelerate renovation. And where there's new infrastructure, particularly emerging developing countries, we need to leapfrog to the best possible solutions. For instance, we announced on Wednesday a big project of 76,000 solar LED streetlights for 800 villages in India. So they are leapfrogging to zero energy solutions. So we need to do all that, because otherwise we'll never curb the emissions. What we see with lighting is that it is almost 20% of global electricity, and you can save 40% on average, and even more per individual project. And also Monday, I will only show this, we will also launch new projections on savings, and actually we feel with the speed that the lighting market is changing, that we are going to increase our projections on carbon reductions, energy saving, monetary saving, tackling climate change is good for any economy, household, city, national, but also a corporate economy. So trying to help all of us to move to a better future. So this is what I mentioned, 70% growth in light points till 2050. So we need not only do the new things right, the new buildings and the new appliances, but also all that is there needs to be renovated at a higher rate. Because the big thing is that if you do globally, because of population growth, urbanization and middle class growth, the energy demand per year increases by 3%. But we're only getting 1.5% more efficient per year. So we need to more than double that rate. And there's a nice message to that, because if you do more energy efficiency, that's not invisible energy, but that's putting people at work. So building better homes, renovating buildings, putting in double glazing, changing the lights, of course, but also doing all the other things that are relevant. So it's local jobs also that cannot be exported. So a lot of reasons to accelerate, and I think we're here with like-minded people. The good thing is when you look at the lighting market, not only it is changing technologically to LEDs, but also the business models are changing. If you look at a light bulb, you typically see if it's for a home or if it's for an office, it goes through retail or electrical distribution. Some installer had changed the lights. But you also see that by going to LED lighting, we are moving from shifting boxes to talking about projects. And that is also like the Luz Verde project years ago, which was about over 45 million compact fluorescents. And we see now similar projects also with whole cities. Mexico City, we are speaking on LED street lighting. I think the city of Leon and a few others, also with the World Bank and you, is all happening. But that also means that if you talk with a city or if you talk with a large company, which we're also doing, so company-wide transitions, then also the project gets bigger. And you could say, well, there's more headache. Well, I think it's not, because then it's also easier to finance it. So also for a bank, there will be less transaction costs. They are dealing with larger entities, and it makes it easier. So I think we are also at the start of a real big change in business models. And we can even sell lighting as a service so that you have a guaranteed performance. And as lighting gets smarter, connected, you can also automatically, through IT system, just see how does it perform. So that is it doing what you promised, which is also an automatic quality guarantee, which is needed because sustainable solutions ask for a higher investment that people think about consumers, but also public authorities, and you need to make sure that it does what is promised. And that is also with intelligent lighting. It just goes over the internet, and it's, let's say, really great to see how this is all helping. Just a few examples. What we find interesting, and that I'm not saying this because I work for Philips Lighting, but what we also should realize is that once people got access to electricity, the first service that they were provided was lighting. So the incandescent light bulb that's now disappearing for many good reasons is the first global mass electric appliance. And also a lot of the grids that exist in cities and in buildings and in homes is based on the need of people for lighting. So we also have a responsibility there when we go to the Internet of Things and all that, to make things connectable, interchangeable, so that we together, when you talk about ecosystem, about the whole office, can make that change and not individually. There. So the good news here, there's just a few examples that I'll show, is in the home. I've been in many debates on phasing out incandescent light bulbs. People were saying that this was really dramatic, but now you see with LED lights, you can even control it from your smartphone. And I've seen a few months ago, I said at that time in 2006 and 2007 in many debates, I said, well, one day you'll be able to talk to your lights and then they do what you want. Well, 2 months ago, I saw a demonstration in a home environment, and it's still to come to the market, and people were saying to the lights, romantic, and phew, the lights changed. So this is when sustainable development becomes really fun, I would say, and that's what we need. This is an office building, so in a city, of course, it's not only street lighting. If you look at lighting, at 25% of electricity for lighting is residential, about 15% is outdoor, but 60% is non-residential buildings. And this is a building in Amsterdam, the Deloitte headquarters, called The Edge. And they've done everything. So they've done the whole internal building climate that they manage and control. And also the building senses who are there. And it adapts to your preference. So if you change the settings, the humidity, the temperature, the lights, then the building remembers. So when you go, many people are moving to open offices. So you go sit somewhere else, and it adapts to what you like. So it's really cool. And you can even ping what kind of coffee you want. You go to the machine, and there it happens. And, like I'm saying, 80% less energy. You almost forget to say what it all started for about. Same with bridges. This is in New York, so also there you can see huge reductions in energy consumption, but you don't have to switch off the lights. You can still make something beautiful. Later on, I've got another example that here in street lighting, CityTouch is the intelligent technology that connects solutions. Again, it looks more beautiful. We have examples. I don't have it included here. Buenos Aires is changing all the street lights, 91,000. I think 70,000 have now been replaced, cutting the energy bill by 50% for the city. But also people feel safer. And I've been there, and I love Buenos Aires. But also you see it, sometimes people don't feel safe. So they go out more, there's more socializing in the evening, and I think also the Latin evenings are a bit longer than in Northwestern Europe. Here in France, here in Spain, in Palencia, also you see more people there. This is just a glimpse on how you can connect lighting. This is also what we did in Los Angeles. And I said 2 days ago in another event where I was, a lot is happening in Latin America and then also in Los Angeles, which is maybe also Latin City. But there they installed LED lighting some years ago. It was not ours, but then just a few months ago we agreed on putting connector nodes, so the intelligence in there. And our team said to the mayor, here are 20 of those connector nodes. Give them to your people, let them drive into the city and plug them in anywhere. Don't tell us, but before they back, we'll show you. And then they opened their laptop, and then bloop, 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 the mayor could see those 20 light points in the city, and he was flabbergasted. And now we're changing all of them. And so he gets more control. So smart technology is not taking over, but it's actually giving you back control of your life and of what you want to do in the city or in the home. These are a few examples, I think the last ones. Empire State Building. You see that it looks beautiful, So Johnson Controls, Jennifer sitting there, they did all the internal renovation, while we did the outside lighting. 70% energy saving, and now the building is also there for parties and events. It was turned red, white and blue a few weeks ago for good reasons, we know. But also, I saw a YouTube video with Alicia Keys singing New York. I'll tell you, look at YouTube, you get goose skin, and then you see all the lights changing. So this is also tourism, attracting tourism. You see tunnels and things. You see the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, where they also count that this will, over 10 years, bring in 100 million more in tourism, because the city just looks more beautiful. So you don't have to switch off the lights. This is in Vietnam. And also there, they made something beautiful of a bridge. So it means you don't have to sacrifice if you want to do the right thing for the future. And I think really what we're here to, and I believe COP21 can be a turning point with a lot of important work also that you're doing, that we're now really going into the 21st century. So we're no longer defending what we had in the past and let's stay there, but that we are really creating this better future together. And it is an enjoyable future. It's not a future of scarcity and savings and reductions. I think it can be more beautiful. We just need to do it smarter, and with better solutions that are also much more economical. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and thank you very much for being in the Mexico event. Thank you.